Excuse me, sir. I come in, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Please sit down. Your name is AVULA.
AVULA SAIKRISHNA, sir. AVULA is my surname.
Okay, SAIKRISHNA.
Yes, sir.
All right, SAIKRISHNA. You want to carry on with your mask or you want to remove it?
I would like to remove, sir.
Then remove it. Yes.
Thank you.
Because here we have sufficient distance.
Yes.
Yes. And thankfully, none of us has any symptoms of. When is your interview? On
29th of March, sir.
29th March, very soon.
Yes.
All right, take a minute and introduce yourself first.
Sir, my name is AVULA SAIKRISHNA. I'm from Karimnagar district of Telangana. I've graduated from NIT Warangal in 2014 and I've prepared for civil services after that. In the year of 2018, I got selected for Indian Corporate Law Service and I'm currently working as Assistant Director in the Regional Directorate of Hyderabad.
Corporate law.
Ministry of Corporate Affairs, sir. Yes, sir.
But you are dealing with corporate law, is it?
Yes, sir. Company.
But your background is technology, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So how do you deal with it? Have you gone through some kind of a training?
We have an extensive training program, sir. We were trained for almost 2 years, and after that, I was posted in 2020.
Very good. You have taken political science and international relations.
Yes, sir.
Yes. There have been a lot of developments in the last couple of weeks on international relations. Very interesting development. You know, I was at the Mumbai airport day before yesterday, right? And there was a news channel going on. And sitting there, I got the impression as if the war, Third World War has started, right? The anchor was shouting at the top of her voice. The last, because it was a Hindi channel, it was saying last bugle has now been blown for the Third World War. And I sat for almost half an hour, and half an hour this anchor was only talking about as if the war had just begun, right? And then I came back home and I thought, I was worried. I thought maybe I didn't notice. The war must have begun. So I checked all the international channels and nobody was even talking about war. Now my issue is this, that media's credibility in a society, especially in a democratic society, is exceptionally important. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Do you think our audiovisual media standard has deeply deteriorated over time? That how could you be so divorced from the actual reality on the ground? So I watched the BBC, CNN, the Russian channel, the Deutsche Welle channel, everyone to see, has the war really started? And no other channel was talking about war other than the factual information, other than the Indian channels. Indian channels will say, oh, the war has begun, almost like that, right? So what's wrong with our channels?
Sir, I think the current electronic media is facing a lot of competition when it comes to TRP ratings. And the TRP ratings driven content.
So which means there's no more media, it's business now.
Yes, sir, unfortunately.
But it can hurt the society, in fact. If they are divorced, they remain, if they don't project the facts correctly, it can harm the society. Don't you think we should do something about setting right standards for media? I'm in favor of complete freedom. But freedom and facts, freedom cannot really distort facts on the ground. And whenever I switch on a channel, I think, oh, the war is something or the else, right? Either an internal conflict or an external conflict or just talking about nonsense. What's happening? This will really have a very bad impression about Indian media world over, in fact.
Yes, sir. These are all legitimate concerns, sir. And as for the control and any restrictions to be imposed in the name of holding media for any standards, it has to come from their own internal mechanisms. It cannot be enforced by the government because it would be seen as restriction over media freedom. So it is actually up to the media.
But on the
houses.
other hand, we show very little tolerance to people's freedom of expression. You say something, the next day something will come after you.
Yes, sir. But
Isn't it a conflict that on one hand the channels say whatever they want to say, on the other you can't legitimately say anything which others may dislike?
sir, when it comes to media, they have a larger responsibility because they have wider reach as well. But at the same time, media independence has to be ensured. So any regulation has to come from their own association, and it has to be taken care by their own association. That is my opinion, sir.
You know, in fact, there is a saying, it is ascribed to a scholar called Voltaire, who says, I may completely disapprove of what you are saying, but I will defend to the death your right to say so. You got my point?
Yes, sir. It is a popular saying which is
It's a very
aspect
popular
of-
saying, exactly, since you have done international relations and political science. Now tell me, in the context of this saying, because this is an essential element of a democracy, again, do you see that we are becoming very, very sensitive to what people say?
Sir, it also is dependent on our India society's current position, sir. We are a prismatic society. We haven't yet reached to the complete position where people can say all the things and whatever they want
But
to
then
say.
we also say we are mother of democracy. Then, yeah, isn't it a conflicting situation?
So we are the largest democracy, and we
No,
are
that's
still.
fine. But mother of democracy, the statement is we are mother of democracy.
Yes, sir.
But we will not tolerate a statement which I don't like.
We do tolerate, sir, as long as there is no defamation involved. Because if we are allowing defamation,
How do you define defamation?
Sir, as per section 499, if any words are visible representation or any gesture, which the person who is doing it knows that can lead to.
Well, it's a very vague thing. You can't measure.
Yes, sir. That is where the court step in. That is where the wisdom of court step in.
Dada, you please.
So, biotechnology.
Yes.
Tell me some of the industries which is in the field of biotechnology, internationally and nationally.
So the major fields of biotechnology are pharmaceuticals, biopharmaceuticals, biofuels, food processing engineering, and anything which incorporates technology derived from biology into the production units.
Okay, so tell me the name of the industry which is leading in this field.
Sir, AstraZeneca is currently leading the vaccine research, and as for food processing industries, a lot of breweries, even United Breweries is one of them, and biofuels I am unable to recollect names. Sir.
Okay, this corporate responsibility. You are in the corporate law. You are
Yes, sir.
working in corporate law. Tell me the difference we find in the CSR in our countries and CSR outside Western and American countries. What is the fundamental difference?
So the fundamental difference is CSR is mandated as per Companies Act in India, whereas it is completely a voluntary provision abroad. That is the primary difference. And secondary, we have a criteria which qualifies which companies are completely mandated to do CSR, whereas abroad it is completely voluntary. Any company, even if it is small, can do it.
Okay.
And
then I got your point. But tell me, then why it is that contribution to CSR from Indian companies and contribution by the so-called voluntary by the Westerns are far difference for the society? Although we talk about more about the society. What is fundamental difference?
So the fundamental difference is here, the companies, the corporate sector, they are not doing it on voluntary basis. They are not appreciating the inherent reason for why a company should give back for the society. If we are going to enforce it as a part of the Companies Act, they are not going to do it willingly, and they will try to circumvent the provisions as much as possible. Whereas in the abroad conditions, they are doing it voluntarily. And there is a lot of goodwill which happens because of CSR
Okay.
abroad.
Okay. See, this R&D job, R&D work. You know what is in India? What is the expenditure on R&D, percentage wise?
Sir, I believe the R&D expenditure is around 1.5 to 2% as a percent of GDP.
Percentage of GDP. Perhaps that also, I think you have to revise the figure. I think perhaps you have told more. Why so less, and why other places we find such a big difference on the R&D, including your biotechnology or even the simple maybe in any type of agro-based industry?
So first of all, the public sector is not very capable because we have other obligations as well. So government is not able to provide as much as it should have for the R&D sector. As for why the corporate sector is not able to focus more on the R&D is because they lack the incentive and they lack policy guidance as well. And most of the companies, our companies are
Okay. Can you tell? Tell me some of the geo tags given in Telangana on the product, maybe 4 or 5 products.
Sir, Nirmal Toys. There is Pochampalli Ikat, and there is Karimnagar Silver Filigree. That is all I can recollect.
Okay. Last question, you tell me that our agriculture contribution to the GDP is very limited, 15% or around whatever is the figures. How can we, because we are the agro-based, how can we maximize it? 2-3 steps as a technological input.
So we have to go for value addition. We have to improve the food processing sector, and we also have to ensure the post-harvest losses are minimized. And we have to go for market-based.
But which state is following? Some states are on those lines?
Sir, I believe Karnataka and Telangana are doing on those lines.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sai Krishna, you are from Telangana.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Karimnagar place. You tell something about Karimnagar?
Sir, Karimnagar is a northern district which is fed by tributaries of Godavari. It is also very famous as a education and health services hub. It also has a significant contribution towards rice cultivation and cotton cultivations.
Last year, the paddy production was a big problem for the state. Lot of paddy, production was very high, and the state government was really in trouble. This year, what is the situation?
Sir, I think they are going to face similar situation this year because of the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation. People have gone for monoculture. A lot of regions which traditionally is not growing rice is growing rice because of the new availability of water, which is causing the problems.
So I would like to know, why the lesson is not been learned. Last year it was when the CM was running from pillar to post, coming here in Delhi and asking for that please purchase my paddy and all this thing. The boiling is also an issue was that. Suppose you are a district magistrate in a place like that, where the paddy production is very high, and you cannot stop farmers to get that production. So what strategy would you adopt so that this problem will not recur in future also?
So the first step should be providing the awareness to the farmers, because the problems that they are under the assumption that they can grow it and the government will have to buy it out of political obligations. That may not be the case always. So that has to be said in a very plain terms. And also we have to provide a proper market-based incentives, sir. Like we can provide market research that various opportunities, export opportunities or whatever else is available for them. So they will go for the choice of not growing it and going a more remunerative crop on their own.
Your knowledge, you are expert in biotechnology, and you are working as a corporate sector. I would like to know how your domain knowledge is going to be helpful in administration, especially corporate governance.
Sir, corporate structure offers avenues for generation of funds and employment. I can use farmer producer organizations, which is a separate class of companies under Companies Act, to promote agriculture and food processing industries in the district. I can also use my knowledge, my domain knowledge when it comes to raising of funds using municipal bonds if I'm posting that capacity.
There is three categories of biotechnology. There is one is green technology, other is the red technology, and the third is the white technology. Tell me about all three.
Sir, I am not aware of the classification, sir.
Green technology means agriculture, dealing with agricultural technology. Red means medical, and white means industrial. You don't know this broader categorization also?
I'm not aware of it, sir, or maybe I'm not able to recollect it, sir.
Please read about it. This is a very, broader classification of biotechnology used in application. The application part is very, very important. Telangana has a number of very successful model. You mentioned about the Kakatiya model. What is so special about Kakatiya that other states are also following it? They're sending their teams also to emulate that Kakatiya model of water conservation and rejuvenation of wetlands. What is special about it?
Sir, it is very well suited for the geographical conditions, agroclimatic and geographical conditions of Telangana, sir. It provides for additional benefits of providing improving groundwater levels sustainably, and also provides for additional livelihood opportunities like for local fisheries and grazing areas around the pond areas and tanks. And it is also important because it is a low cost option, sir. It does not involve any unsustainable building of huge dams or reservoirs.
Can you provide some data? What was the target for this state and how much has been achieved?
I am unaware of the statistics.
Okay, my last question is, what do you understand by flora and fauna of the state? Cite some examples of vegetation as well as the wild animal occurring normally in your state.
Sir, I'm not aware of the English names of the.
You can
flora.
go ahead with the Telugu name.
The jammi tree, and there is tumma. There is neem is very common in the region. As for the animals, we have tigers, we have leopards, sloth bears, and we also have roller birds, which is the state bird of the.
Name
Telangana.
any one national park of your state.
Sir, Kasu Brahmananda Reddy, KBR.
Thank you.
Okay, Sai Krishna, your interview is over now.
Sir.